Good morning, American Literature 2. Today, Wednesday, January 18th, is the day our class officially begins. I opened the class yesterday and had just like a little getting to know you quiz and opened up the introductions forum. But typically every week our classes will go from Wednesday to Wednesday. Your assignments will almost always be due Wednesday at midnight, and I will post the next week's assignments. I will open them typically by noon on Wednesday, unless something weird happens, in which case I'll let you know. I will say around midterms and finals, there might be a little bit of tweaking to that schedule. Something might be due on a Friday instead, but you should very confidently get into this rhythm that we go Wednesday to Wednesday. I kind of jumped right in. I should have introduced myself first. I'm Lee Kolb, your instructor for this semester. I teach English here at ECC and also some media studies courses. And I've been here for 15 years. I'm in the English department. I teach comp courses. The literature courses I teach are American Lit 1 and 2. My specialty lit courses are African American Lit and Women's Lit. And then I also teach Intro to Film Studies, Diversity in the Media, and advise student publications. So I love teaching. I love being in the classroom. This American Lit 1 and 2 sections in the fall and spring. These are typically the only classes that I teach fully online. So you'll hear me check in sometimes to make sure that things are feeling okay, that you feel like there's an appropriate amount of work, that you're keeping up with things. I like to check in on you. But also, I have an office here at the Union campus. I'm here every day. So if you'd ever like to meet in person, let me know. I'm here. And we can also meet via Zoom or phone or email, just whatever works for you, if you'd like to meet more than just an email back and forth. So hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're all here. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. This is going to be a pretty brief video. Sometimes I say that and then I end up just like talking for a very long time, but I truly cannot do that right now because I have a class in 30 minutes that I still need to kind of get completely ready for. So I promise this will be brief. All right, we are going to look at our class together. So I have our Canvas page in student view. So this should be what you see right now. The first piece of advice I want to give you is to always look at my class in modules. So if you're used to clicking on assignments or quizzes to look at your online courses, I beg of you to always look at our class as modules, because that is how I designed the course. Right now, only 2 modules are available, but obviously they will build on and on every week of the semester. So what you can see now is this is the top module. This is everything about the course and some resources that will carry you throughout the entire semester. So you can see, the syllabus, some wonderful websites that just have a lot of information about American literature. So when you write your papers, I will encourage you to utilize these sites, these things that are posted here for you. And then some really great writing resources if you need a reminder, or we should always be looking at reference material as we write MLA style, formatting, citation, etc. Going to look at the syllabus. This is a PDF. I'm not going to go over it in detail. Part of your assignment for the week ahead is to read the syllabus. You can see here, this is my basic info. My office is in a hallway of English instructor offices on the 2nd floor above the gallery and the theater, if you're familiar with the Union campus. These are my set office hours that I'm in my office, but I'm in my office a lot more than that and can certainly meet with you remotely or in person outside of those times. Please just shoot me an email, call. Email is probably best, or Canvas message for us to connect. It is important that you have the textbook for this class. It's the Norton Anthology of American Literature, 1865 to the present. Looks like this. It's a new edition this spring, so I know that means that there aren't used editions floating around for cheaper, but I'm hoping that you find that this is a really worthwhile investment. Whether you sell it back or not, I always encourage students to not sell back literature books because there's just so much great literature and we can only kind of brush the surface. But please get this ASAP because your reading assignments are in it. I do know that many of the poems and short stories that are contained within this book you can find online. However, you can't find the biographical information, the written editorial introductions. There's a lot more in this book than just the pieces of literature. So that's why it's very important and like a good investment of your money to invest in it. So please get it as soon as possible and let me know if you have any issues getting it. There will be other readings this semester, videos, media artifacts. I will provide all of those to you in Canvas. Okay, please look over this all this week and let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to go to the end of the syllabus. The course outline is the big picture of the semester, and then the last couple of pages are the text list, which is what you will use most often throughout the semester. So the course outline, you can kind of see that you're getting kind of broad strokes about what we're going to cover this semester. My syllabi do not have minute by minute, day by day breakdowns. I'm sorry if you love that, if you're someone who likes that kind of organization on day one. However, the flip side of that, the positive thing about me not laying out my syllabus that way is that I am never going to expect you to just kind of magically know that something is due. If you're plugged in, if you are checking Canvas consistently, opening up the assignment and the week's module as soon as it goes live and really kind of consuming it and understanding what's due, you will never feel lost. Certainly that is the goal. And if you do, just reach out and let me know. But there will be no surprises. I'm never going to just expect you to know something because it's on, I should say, expect you to know something about like an assignment, a specific assignment because it's on the syllabus, because my syllabus is a little bit broad. Certainly I do expect you to know the syllabus in terms of like work policy, attendance, etc. So this text list is kind of how I designed the course. So I use this every week and look at, okay, here's your reading assignment for the next week. So for week 1, the assignment is the introduction and timeline through this brief selection from Little Women. I want to point this out here. When it is formatted this way, that means that page 21 is where the bio of Walt Whitman begins. But then you can skip ahead to page 31 for this specific poem that I'm asking you to read. So you'll see that throughout the text list. All right, so what this looks like in week 1. So this is what most weeks will look like. You'll have the assignment up on top. Maybe here we have a couple of PowerPoints from your textbook website that's just really great supplements to your reading, especially if you like to see visuals. So we'll look at the assignments. I'll have read, watch, discuss, and write. Those will be our categories each week. There is a lot of reading in this course, and I want you to think about the fact that because this is an online course, that means that we are not meeting in person, and in-person courses, that's typically, you know, more than 3 hours sitting in a classroom, certainly doing meaningful work, but that's a large chunk of time. So I want you to think about when you think about this class, and you think like, oh, this is a lot of reading. Think about the time over a week that you would spend in an in-person class. And I don't think that this is excessive in terms of a traditional in-person course. But what's really important is that you open up the assignment, the week's module, as soon as it's live, and take stock of what you have to read for the next week, because it might be a lot of short poems and one long short story. So that tells you that you need to manage your time. You cannot do this all the night before the next Wednesday. So please keep that in mind. And we'll talk about that more throughout the semester in terms of time management. So the reading assignment is typically from the textbook, and there might be some supplementary articles through that week. The YouTube playlist. Each week, you also have a selection of videos that I ask you to watch. So for this week, I say to read through Little Women. So you know, you can see these videos, some brief videos about Walt Whitman, about Emily Dickinson, a crash course on Reconstruction, and a couple of brief videos about Little Women and Louisa May Alcott. So that is your selection of readings for this, videos for the first week that coincide with our readings. A good rule to go by, well, sometimes you will also see that I post audiobooks. So if you'd like to listen, that is cool. You do not have to. When you see audiobooks on the YouTube playlist, those are optional. And also when you see long lectures, typically anything over 40 minutes, that is also optional. I put it there because you might want to learn more. But again, just like the readings, think about pacing yourself. Every Wednesday, take stock of everything that's due, flip through your textbook, see how long readings are, and then pace yourself throughout the week. This week, your assignment is a reflection. It's in the quiz function, but it's not really a quiz. It's kind of a short essay. The bulk of your points this semester will be in assignments like this, where I ask you to reflect upon something from your reading. So these first few weeks, very reflection heavy. You can use first person point of view. I'm not asking you to do like a deep dive into the text or use citation, but as we move on, the reflections will become a bit more and more formal in terms of needing to quote the text and include citations. So we build throughout the semester. But this is something, again, look it over as soon as the week's assignments open and pace yourself, plan your time for the week ahead. Okay, and you can see over here, you have a to-do list, but again, I really encourage you to look at our class as module view. Okay, so those are the basic nut and bolts about what our class looks like and some considerations you may want to keep in mind this semester. Again, a lot of reading, a lot of writing. That is the kind of core of this class. We will read just a plethora of great literature, nonfiction, fiction, poems, short stories. I do plan on us reading The Great Gatsby midway through the semester, a short novel that you may have read before, but you are a different person now than you were then. So there are some new additions to this new edition of the textbook. And so wanted to include some of those in our coursework. So please reach out. Let me know if you have any questions. We're going to jump right in this semester. Some might argue that Walt Whitman and Emily Dickinson are two of the most important American poets. And you've probably heard of Little Women, but looking at it kind of from a different angle and learning Alcott's history, we're jumping right in. Next week, we'll be looking at selections from Huckleberry Finn and examining that. So get ready for a lot of good reading and also good videos and films and supplemental learning about things that were going on socially and culturally and historically during the eras that we'll be covering. I can't wait to meet you all, hopefully in person at some point, but perhaps in forums and getting to read your writing and your reflections. I really look forward to working with you this semester, and never hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. If I make a mistake, I do that sometimes. Please just reach out and let me know. I always appreciate that greatly when there's something confusing or something wrong, or I forgot to open a resource. Please just shoot me a message, and I really appreciate that. So have a wonderful day. Best of luck this semester, and we will talk more soon.